Hi everybody, FPL Witty here, back again for another video. It's been about a week since my last one, just under, so back out here in the beautiful Yorkshire countryside. Always a good chance to get your FPL thoughts together and get a bit of exercise at the same time, so here we are again. So it's a bit different to last time I was on here. I think it was last Tuesday, we were right in the height of the heat wave, weren't we? The hottest day on record in the UK, wasn't it? So, cool, that was a scorcher. So, certainly a bit fresher this morning, and certainly much prefer that. Better for walking. So we've only got a week and a half now to the Premier League. So not long at all. Looking forward to it. I'm sure you are too. We've actually got the English Football League starting this weekend. It starts a week early, so I'm a big Barnsley fan, so I get to start my season a bit earlier than the Premier League. But we've got the worst possible fixture. We've got Plymouth away for my Barnsley team, so I don't think I'll be going down there. It's take me about 3 weeks to get there and 3 weeks to get back. So I think I'll be patient and wait for the following game. So what's been happening then? It's a week's a long time, isn't it, in FPL? We've had lots of pre-season friendlies. We've had Tottenham still banging in the goals, aren't they? Harry Kane got 2 goals against Rangers, so he's still only less than 30% owned. So I think the Kane versus Haaland debate's hotting up now, isn't it? Haaland did eventually get on the pitch this week. He played just the first half against Bayern, was it? So certainly going to be an interesting debate, that one. I think a lot will depend on the Community Shield, really, won't it? And see what happens for Haaland, see what minutes he gets. But certainly Harry Kane, absolutely banging form. So it's a big debate for all of us. I see Perisic finally got on the field, but he only got a bit of a cameo there, didn't he? So the Spurs fullbacks are a strange one, really, aren't they, this season? We've got neither Doherty or Perisic started, and you would expect them to be maybe first choice at fullback, but neither started, and neither did Spence. So that's a really tricky one to contemplate if you're after a Spurs defender, isn't it? But what else has been happening? Jesus is still banging in the goals, isn't he? Most owned player in the game. Scored again. But he did come off with a bit of a minor muscle injury, didn't he? Which is never good when you hear the words muscle injury. So we'll have to watch that one carefully. See if he appears in the final pre-season game. So Liverpool, everybody is having the debate about whether Robertson or Diaz is your third Liverpool player behind Trent and Salah. And then Darwin Núñez, do you call him? Pops up with 4 goals, doesn't he, in a friendly? So that's given us something to think about at Liverpool. And then we've got Manchester United. They seem to be thriving without Ronaldo in the picture, don't they? We've had Rashford, Sancho, Martial, all looking in great shape. So I think it'll be all eyes on what happens for Ronaldo, really, won't it? Certainly seemed better without him than with him. So that's certainly one to watch. We've had a bit of a minor debate of Neto against Bailey, haven't we, in that sort of budget midfield slot. Seems to be flipping between the two, or get both. Bailey's certainly on form. He started on the bench, which was a concern, but then he reels off a master performance. Gerrard backs him up with some fantastic words, and he looks a great option. But then Neto follows it with yet another goal. And Jimenez went off injured, didn't he? So whether or not that means Neto will get a more advanced role, maybe even an out-and-out striker role. So that's going to be interesting. So certainly plenty to think about, and plenty more friendlies. I think when you get to this stage of the season, there's always the chance of a last-minute curveball as well, isn't there? I remember last year Robertson got injured right on the cusp of the season, didn't he? And then Tsimikas appeared in everybody's teams, so I'm sure there'll be a late twist. And sometimes they can actually help, can't they? If you get a high-profile injury, narrows the selection process a little bit. So I think most of the teams I'm seeing are still on a 4-4-2 or a 5-3-2. Still, nearly everybody I'm seeing with 2 up front. It's just a case of whether you're putting 4 or 5 in midfield, at the back rather. I still think the 5 at the backs look quite good, but I'm just not keen of having these 2 4.5 mids. I think it's very inflexible. I'm currently on a 4-4-2, which I quite like, and I seem to have those price points that I can get to virtually anybody I want within one move, really. So I quite like that. I've got the most expensive player in each position potentially, depending on what I do with my goalkeeper. So I think when you've got that structure, it's certainly much easier to move around. I'm still planning on trying to get through to my wildcard in game week sort of 8 or 9 around the international break, so I can effectively reset my team 4 times then, can't I? Just divide it down nicely. We've got a wild card now, effectively. Can have one after game week 8. We all get unlimited transfers after 16, and then we get another one later. So I think we're playing a game of 4 quarters, really, aren't we? So certainly lots to think about. So in terms of my decisions that I'm still contemplating, still got a few. I seem to be moving between 3 goalkeepers. Seem to be moving between Raya and Mendy and Edison, depending on how my rest of my team shapes up and what budget I've got left. So that's still very much up in the air. I've still got this debate about one Chelsea wing back or 2. We've got Reece James or Chilwell or both. My latest draft had both, but then of course Chilwell didn't play, did he? Yeah, at the weekend he didn't play, and so what do you do there then now? So I'm contemplating taking Chilwell down to maybe a 5 million defender, maybe going up to Edison. So Chelsea seem in a bit of a mess, really, don't they? We had a 4-0 defeat. Chilwell didn't feature. We've got Alonso still in the picture there, haven't we? Reece James played in a sort of middle 3, so certainly a lot to think about there. I've still got the bit of a debate in the middle. I've either got sort of Neto and Martinelli, or I've got maybe Rashford and Bailey. It's a bit of a toss-up still, and then we've got this debate up front still, haven't we, between Kane and Haaland. So I am still on Haaland, so I think it's a question of what happens in the Community Shield, really, isn't it? Haaland's ownership is dangerously high, and he plays Bournemouth in week 2, so you've got this decision of, if you go with Kane and then you fancy Haaland in game week 2 against Bournemouth, do you need to keep 0.5 in the bank in case You get Haaland price increase if everybody's jumping on him, so certainly plenty to think about. So yeah, so I want to keep it to 10 minutes, so it's a short and sharp one today. So you can follow my team's progress on Fantasy Football Geek website. I'll be doing my weekly articles there. I'll be doing these vlogs mostly once a week, I would think. So good luck with your tinkering, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. And I better get back on the march. See you soon.